This is a famous story, friends, that you may know, or you may not know. Actually, I was going to put it on the chat, you know the story, and I'll find another one. So I'll tell you a second story as well. Rebbe related this story. This was Tafshin Yud, the Farbringen after Yud Shvat. And that is as follows. When the Frierdiker Rebbe was a child, so his father, the Rebbe Rashab, lived in a house that had two rooms. One was a bedroom, and the second one, so the Rebbe Rashab would sit and learn. He had a kind of a chavrusa, the Yaakov Mordechai Bes Palov from Poltava. They would learn together. He was older than the Rebbe Rashab, and the niggin that we sang a few weeks ago, Matzai Shabbos, is his niggin. That's, he composed that niggin. It was a great chassid, obviously, learning together with the Rebbe Rashab. This is in the early years of the Rebbe Rashab's the CS. It could even be the Rebbe Rashab may have still been alive before he was the Rebbe. Could be. It's very possible. At any rate, so in the room that they were learning was the cot of the Frierdiker Rebbe. The Rebbe says about the Frierdiker Rebbe, he was a beautiful child with a luminous face, a luminous countenance. Oh, so he's 4 years old. Yeah, so Tafresh Mem Daled. Yeah, this is still the lifetime of the Rebbe Marash. So while they're learning, the Rebbe Rashab and his Chavrusa, the Yaakov Mordechai, they're learning at night. So Yaakov Mordechai looks at the Frierdiker Rebbe sleeping in the cot. And he says to the Rebbe, his father, the Rebbe Rashab, he starts talking about him and says that the child's face conveys the purity of thought. And actually, I'm not sure what he means by the thought of, etc. The thought of the child could be, I may be totally wrong here, but it also may mean the purity of thought in the conception of the child, which is, as explained in Kabbalah and Chassidus, very important, that moment of conception. He may have meant both. Anyway, so they're learning, and the Rebbe Rashab is aroused with a strong desire to kiss his child. At that moment, that he was going to kiss him, bend down on the cot and kiss him, in his mind, he says this thought appeared as follows: that in the Beis Hamikdash, in addition to bringing karbanos, that was the regular avodah. They also brought gold and silver for the upkeep of the Beis Hamikdash. And therefore, he decided to exchange, instead of saying the kiss, he's going to give him now, he's going to exchange it with a Maimer Chassidus. And then he sat down and wrote the Maimer Maraba Masecha, how great, how manifold are your works. He channeled that kiss into the Maimer. Seems like that the kiss would be the korban, and the gold and silver is the Maimer. I can't explain that, but that's the story. And then when the Rebbe Rashab Tafresh Beis, so when he was 12 years old, before his bar mitzvah, the Rebbe Rashab gave him the Maimer and said to him, "This is a Chassidish kush, a Chassidic kiss, and one day I will tell you the story." In Tafresh Vav, when he was 16, that's when the Rebbe Rashab told him the entire story. A very evocative and beautiful story. We're talking about V'ahavta, the love of Hashem. I'll leave the commentary. I'll leave the commentary for each one to ponder this beautiful story of the Chassidish kiss that the Rebbe Rashab expressed in the Maimer and granted to his child many years later, and only revealed some years after that what this Maimer and how it was born and expressed. Mind you, as I'm telling you the story, there's kind of a precedence to this. Anybody thought of this? Kind of. That when Yaakov finally is reunited with Yosef, so the Torah tells us that Yosef falls on Yaakov's neck and he weeps. And Yaakov, who pined after him all these years, irreconcilably, the pasuk doesn't say that he cries. When it comes to Yosef and Binyamin, the Torah describes how both are crying. When it comes to the brothers, Yaakov and Yosef is crying and Yaakov is not crying. And Rashi says, because like this is strange. Rashi says that Yaakov was saying the Shema. The Shema? You couldn't say it a minute earlier, a minute later. This moment of embracing your long lost child, for which you grieved and mourned irreconcilably for these 22 years, finally meeting you saying the Shema. Somehow the same Nakuda. It wasn't ignoring his child. On the contrary, it was connecting with him in an even deeper level. All right, friends. Hope you enjoyed the stories and the Maimer, and Mitzvah Shem. See everybody at the hopefully the Lava Malk, as I mentioned in my text, probably the last one, because we can still push it for 10:15, but next week already Shabbos is out quarter to even closer to 10 o'clock. So it's probably the last one. So
the last one for the next couple of weeks, because the clock changes after.
Okay, but then hopefully, the days of Zoom may be over. Who knows? But I think we should continue Zoom in one way or another, even after we come together physically. It's proven to be a way that we can connect in ways that we weren't been able to before. So we'll see. Anyway, it's the last for next little while. Hope to see you all and enjoy the Lava Malka de Fabrenya together.